And welcome back to another episode of Sitting in a Car. I'm Sarah Sproul and I sit in a car with you every week, answering one question to help you raise a confident and caring young person who respects themselves and the people around them. And the question for this week is this. My 8-year-old searched the word sex on my brother's laptop and lots of images came up. What do I do? I'm so shocked. First thing to say is you are not alone. So many kids, in fact, the vast majority of boys anyway, see porn. Either they're searching for it, they're shown it by someone else, or they accidentally come across it before they turn 13, maybe even before they turn 11. There's all these different statistics depending on what country you live in. So you're not on your own. Most parents won't tell you the story of how they discovered their kid has porn on their phone, but most parents do have a story. And if they don't have a story, it's probably because they haven't discovered the material yet. Okay, so you're not on your own. Just know you are not on your own. Something like this will show us certain things because behavior is logical, right? All human behavior happens for a reason. So when I hear stories like this, the first thing I say is, right, your kid is really curious about sex, particularly if they've Googled sex. That's pretty damn obvious that they need way more information than they're getting at the moment. So keep in mind that maybe if you live in Ireland anyway, the sex education is not great. And so your kid is not going to get accurate information very much from school. Their friends might be talking about it, but that doesn't mean it's accurate. So here's an opportunity to step up to the plate and go, what are we going to do now? As parents, it is our job to meet our kids' needs. And if they need information and they're interested in bodies, then we need to work out how are we going to help them do that? Because if we do help them do that, we set ourselves up to be an askable, approachable parent who they will come to when things are tricky, or if they've got questions or they've heard something and they think surely that must be wrong. Your kid's not damaged. We all learn through experience, and we have a story in our head most of the time that children, if they are exposed to things to do with sex, that they are then damaged material. And of course, long-term use of pornography when you're very young and your brain is still developing can have impacts on what we find arousing. Of course, if a child has been exposed to some sort of sexual abuse or abusive touch, then of course that means that they may have a more difficult time of growing up and learning what their boundaries are. But seeing something explicit online in a safe environment, when a parent or an adult is there to explain what's going on, for example, that sort of stuff is for adults. Lots of people are interested in their body and sometimes they like to show it off to other people. That sort of thing it's made up, so it's not true to real life. So if you're interested in finding out about sex, porn isn't the best place to go because it only shows, a few different types of sex or lots of different types of sex, and everybody is different. So what you're going to probably be interested in may not be the same as what the people in porn are showing. You can use broad categories like this. The other thing to say is notice ourselves. Notice ourselves when this experience is happening, because what I've learned about myself is when something big like this happens, oftentimes I fall into a panic and I don't do any good parenting. No good parenting has ever been done in my house when I've been panicking about the safety of my kids. And oftentimes I'll even when I finally see them, I'll get angry because my fear for their safety expresses in anger. So if that happen to you, don't worry, you're not alone, but just notice it, right? Notice it and see how could it be possible actually to not be panicked about this? And if we weren't panicked about it, what would that allow us to talk about with our kids, allow us to do for our kids? So say, for example, you've discovered that your kid is super interested in bodies and has searched up porn because that's the most accessible way to get information about bodies. You might like to think about ordering an art photography book with lots of nude pictures in it, and that might feel awkward, but remember, you're not going up to your kid and saying, okay, you're 8 now, it's time to look at nude photos in an art photography book. No, you are reacting to behavior that has happened already, and you know, as an adult, that porn is not a healthy resource for accurate information. So let's start giving that kid lots of accurate resources and information. You can go to places like amaze.org for younger children and preteen kids. If your kids are teenagers, scarletteen.com. And what you're going to be doing is, particularly if your kid has a phone, start firing off some links to videos and all these different things. This is actually getting very long, so I'm going to finish this sitting in a car episode, but the take-home messages really are, don't panic, be kind to yourself, understand that your kid's behavior is logical and it means there is an unmet need. And that's sitting in a car for another week, where I've answered a question to help you raise your confident and caring young person who respects themselves and the people around them. Bye for now.